A new Secret Service prostitution scandal uncovered by KIRO Team 7 investigators.
Bragging about being part of the Secret Service.
Our team travels to Central America and finds the facts. After KIRO 7 broke the news, calls for resignations, questions at the White House, and anger that agents put the president in danger.
This is about the life of the President of the United States and whether or not we put him in an environment where he is potentially vulnerable.
When Secret Service agents got caught hiring prostitutes in Colombia, KIRO Team 7 investigator Chris Halsne told us he knew it was not the first time.
We told him to go prove it and put him on a jet to El Salvador, a place that President Obama visited a year ago. You're about to see the stunning new developments Chris found. It's evidence that has congressional investigators seeking out what Halsne knows.
I'm in San Salvador, across the street from a strip club called Lips. It's only a few miles from the U.S. Embassy. This place is about to become ground zero for the next Secret Service hooker scandal. Lips offers 40 strippers who get naked on 3 different stages, but it's the club's reputation for armed security and the ability to provide discreet privacy to VIP clientele that really makes it the favorite hangout for U.S. government employees. Managers tell us DEA, FBI, and the U.S. Embassy staff are regulars here. In March of 2011, just a few days before President Obama and his family flew to visit El Salvador, eyewitnesses with intimate knowledge tell me van loads of U.S. Secret Service agents spent several nights in the front row at Lips. Some of the men reportedly drank heavily, paid for sexual favors from their performers, then procured escorts to go back to their hotels. Hi. My name's Chris Halsne. I'm a reporter from Seattle. At considerable risk, we went to San Salvador to gather evidence of Secret Service misconduct in a country and at an earlier time than previously known. We're here trying to track down some things about President Obama's visit last year with the Secret Service coming to the club. Inside Lips, we witnessed and videotaped acts that would be illegal at strip clubs in the United States. Outside, guards, managers, and other employees verified that President Obama's Secret Service advance team descended on the club the week he was in town last year. However, we didn't just count on the word of strippers and bouncers. Just listening to them, you know, it's something that they do pretty much everywhere they go. It's part of their routine. During the day, this bilingual Salvadoran subcontractor was hired to help the president's Secret Service advance team sweep streets for possible security threats. But at night, he says they partied with abandon, usually at Lips, until the early morning hours. We agreed to keep this eyewitness's identity confidential after first confirming his credentials. They weren't bragging about how good the work was, they were just bragging about the time off they had. Yeah, and it involved, like in Colombia, hookers. Well, at least from my experience, I mean, I know they approached several of them at Lips. Although our source says he repeatedly warned members of the Secret Service Advanced Security Team it was a really bad idea to take the strippers back to their hotel rooms, he says several agents candidly stated that they did this all the time and not to worry about it. Did you get a feeling from your conversations with them that this is something that they did just about everywhere they went in a third world country anyway? Definitely. I mean, that's something because, like I said, conversations I heard, I mean, they bragged about it. How good was the night at X-Plays, country. I mean, yeah, that's I heard that more than once. The witness says in front of him, at least 2 agents openly offered strippers money to come back to their rooms at the Holiday Inn in San Salvador. That hotel kicked our cameras off the property without comment. Several girls were approached. One in the military Secret Service approached them about getting a special service at the hotels. I had a lengthy conversation with the owner of Lips inside his office, but he declined to go on camera. He did admit that Secret Service agents and other high-profile security personnel for Obama's team were here during his visit. However, he said he does not allow prostitution inside his club. Reporting in El Salvador, Chris Halsne, KIRO-TV Eyewitness News.
And with our investigation exploding today, our coverage expands to keep you on top of all of it. Throughout this 90-minute newscast, Chris will reveal never-before-heard details of his dangerous investigation into the strip club owner. And we talked to a former Secret Service agent living in Tacoma who explains why the scandal put the president's life in danger.
New at 6, we're revealing the owner of an El Salvador strip club at the center of the new Secret Service prostitution scandal. Why he told us about it and what the agents did with the women that's creating outrage.
I mean, I know they approached several of them.
The story KIRO Team 7 investigators broke, one of the biggest in the world right now, and new details breaking at this hour.
Secret Service is still engaged in investigation.
News sources around the globe all turning to KIRO 7 for information. An hour ago, we took you inside that strip club for the first time.
And we are staying on top of this major story that first started with the prostitution scandal in Colombia and has grown to much more. KIRO 7 investigator Chris Halsne joins us now with new information on the owner of that strip club. Chris.
Angela, the strip club in San Salvador that we're talking about is called Lips. It's owned by an American businessman named DJ Ertl. He admitted to me that President Obama's Secret Service team partied at his club in March of last year, but that's not all. Our Saturday night in El Salvador started at this strip club called Lips. We were looking for eyewitnesses inside, but a heavily armed strip club security guard wasn't too sure about our camera and stopped us at the door. We're here trying to track down some things about President Obama's visit last year with the Secret Service coming to the club. Eventually, managers confirmed what another source had already told us. Van loads of the President's U.S. Secret Service advance team visited Lips repeatedly in the days prior to the President's arrival in that country.
Typical guys, I mean, they're hitting the town, so they wanted to see what the action was, and you know, it just so happened that I know a lot of good spots where you could get entertained, let your hair down, as we say, you know, so basically that's what I did. They went and enjoyed themselves.
Enjoyed themselves a great deal, according to Lips owner DJ Ertl. He declined to be on camera, but spoke with me at length. Ertl says he routinely provides discreet VIP services for a number of U.S. government employees, including staff at the U.S. Embassy, and at least 3 nights during Mr. Obama's visit to town last year, lots of Secret Service and military security guys. So what really went on here other than heavy drinking and enjoying performances of the 40 naked strippers?
My advice was don't do it, you know, because I mean it's too risky, because I personally wouldn't do it.
We agreed to mask the identity of this security subcontractor who says he went with some Secret Service members to the club. He says he witnessed agents paying cash for sexual favors at the club, and some aggressively and vocally offering even more money to the strippers to come back to their hotel.
I just suggested that it wasn't a good idea to have a stranger go up to a hotel and knock on your door and go in, and you know, because will leave the door open for anything to happen.
But some of those guys weren't really interested in listening to your advice. It appeared that they were ignoring it. They were asking the guys.
Well, you know, I threw the suggestion, you know, and I just left it at that. I mean, I wasn't going to grab them by the hands and say, hey, you know, let's go. You know, I was providing a service. And
that source of ours also went on to tell me at least 2 Secret Service agents went through with their pursuit of those prostitutes at the club.
And what's interesting, Chris, you actually got wind of this long before we knew about the situation in Colombia, right? Tell us about that.
Well, it is unusual that a local reporter from Seattle goes to El Salvador to break this kind of story, but I was down in El Salvador a year ago working on an investigation into a jet repair facility down there. I met this subcontractor. He told me the story. When I went to pursue it, he backed off and said he would not go on the record. He wasn't going to tell me which strip club. He wasn't going to give me any information. I've pursued the relationship over time, and after the scandal broke in Colombia earlier this month, I gave him another call, and he agreed if I flew down, he'd talk to me.
A KIRO Team 7 exclusive tonight has the Secret Service rewriting its rules on agents' behavior, both on and off duty.
Sex is a key espionage tool.
The crackdown comes just a day after we revealed a new Secret Service scandal, parties and prostitutes in El Salvador, just before a presidential visit.
Investigative reporter Chris Halsne traveled to San Salvador to gather eyewitness accounts of agents getting drunk and then paying cash for sexual favors.
He's here tonight with the new ethics mandates for the Secret Service. Chris.
Well, just a few hours ago, a prominent member of the Congressional Homeland Security Committee confirmed with us that the director of the Secret Service is telling agents that hanging out at strip clubs is now a prohibited activity.
I'm shocked it wasn't in place before that.
Homeland Security expert James Carafano watched our exclusive investigation with disbelief. We laid out how an advance team of Secret Service agents frequented a strip club called Lips in the days just prior to President Obama's arrival in San Salvador last year. Eyewitnesses with intimate knowledge tell me van loads of U.S. Secret Service agents spent several nights in the front row at Lips. Some of the men reportedly drank heavily, paid for sexual favors from their performers, then procured escorts to go back to their hotels. Hi. My name's Chris Halsne. I'm a reporter from Seattle. Carafano says the agents fell for the oldest and most dangerous trick in the book.
Sex is a key espionage tool. The Chinese use it, the Soviets use it, the Russians used it. Even more than money, sex is the #1 tool that's used to get to people and get them to do things.
Congressional investigators saw our expose too and immediately launched a series of official inquiries. In response, today, Secret Service Director Mark Sullivan announced an enhanced standards of conduct, which include no foreign nationals in rooms, no visiting places of bad acts, no drinking for 10 hours before a shift, plus someone from the Office of Professional Development at the Secret Service will now always accompany agents on out-of-town trips. These are all great ideas, according to Carafano, and long past due.
We know that people use these kinds of venues and these kind of activities to identify U.S. personnel, whether they're military or intelligence, and go after them. So it's almost like wearing a T-shirt that says, you know, I'm with the CIA, you know, come ask me questions.
Yeah. Late this afternoon, the Secret Service Director also announced he is going to send all Secret Service personnel through a new ethics training course in the next several months.